Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Living on Lemonade podcast. I hope everyone is doing well and having a great week whenever you listen to this. Today, I know I'm a little bit late for anyone who's, if you do keep up with the podcast, it's Monday and I haven't posted yet. It's been my days have been pretty full lately, and I worked day shift for the over the weekend, and just kind of this is kind of the time of year. I don't know if anyone else relates, but my body just struggles a little bit extra. So last night on my way home, because I don't live in town, I live in a small town, so I normally will get groceries after day shift on my way home. So I did that, and by the time I worked a 12-hour shift, got groceries, got home, put some stuff away. Actually, my husband, normally I bring the stuff in, he puts it away, which is awesome. Put some laundry in because it was after 7 and I didn't want to be up late doing it. And then kind of got dinner squared away, or started whatever I needed to do to contribute. Last night we made pizza, so actually Eric took care of that. So I took care of laundry, and I feel like there was something else that I did. Just some general cleanup, I guess, or tidying up a little bit. Um, and by the time that was kind of done, I was just ready for bed. I just kind of, once we ate, it's like I'm ready to just lay in bed and watch some TV or something. I just was feeling a little bit under the weather. So I thought, well, I'll get some rest. I really didn't I did not feel like sitting down and recording a podcast and editing, even though it really doesn't take that long. But however, I'm feeling better today after a good night's sleep and getting some stuff done. So I'm back and ready to chat. Today, I want to kind of chat a little bit about some self-care or soul care, soul medicine, I call it, that I experienced and enjoyed last week, and just kind of, yeah, talk about that a little bit, and how valuable it was, just being little things but really making such a difference. So a few weeks ago, one of my best friends from childhood, she lives in the UK now. Hi, Emma, if you're listening. And she messaged me to say that she would be back in Canada for a few days, and wanted to know if I was available to hang out. So I said, of course, like it all worked out really well. I had some days off, and it like her availability fell on my days off. So I was like, I'll meet up with you where you're at a friend's. And I thought, why don't we hang out in our hometown? Or, what if she needed to run some errands? Because obviously there's things that she can't get in the UK that she can get in Canada. And as we know, if we've lived somewhere else or had someone from that's moved away come back, it's always chaotic, right? There's not always a lot of time to kind of do those things. So we did, we met up. I picked her up in the morning and took the back roads from the neighboring city where she was, and we spent the day in our hometown. And it was like, oh man, it was such soul medicine, I think, for both of us. Like she mentioned like how much she needed this, and I was like, me too. And sometimes you don't even know how much you need it until you do it. And what we did is we started at the south end of town, went to Tim Hortons. They do have Tim's in the UK, but I don't think the menu's totally the same. So we got a couple of her favorite things just to kind of start off the day, because we were going to be in the car kind of driving around. And then we drove by her childhood home and her high school. It was just, all the memories start flooding back. The nostalgia is beautiful. And then we made our way a little bit north into town to her where one of her first jobs was, at Wendy's. We went to the Wendy's, we sat down, had a snack. And what was really hilarious is at one point I was staring out the window because I saw something moving in the bushes kind of just at the edge of the parking lot beside the busy road. And it was a chicken. which I thought was so weird because that area is like not far from the outskirts of town, but it's far enough into town that it's like, why is there a chicken? So I pointed it out to her. We had a good laugh just because we're not surprised that something weird like that would happen when we're together, and just kind of goofy and silly. After we finished our our meal, whatever, we split some chicken nuggets and had a frosty. We went outside. I said we have to go investigate this. So we went up to the chicken and I don't know, took a couple photos and some video. We were just laughing the whole time and had some other people gawking and wondering what the heck we're doing, and then realizing we're checking out a chicken. So that was kind of that kind of started off the day in a really fun way. And then we just went to different parts of town, places that we have memories from. We obviously went to the mall because as teenage girls, we spent a lot of time there, and just reminisce the whole time, right? Like I reminisced on a story of one time because I lived about a 15-minute walk from the mall, so we went by my childhood home, and I reminded her of this one time where we went to the movies and we had to walk there. We were running late, and I had just cooked up some noodles. I was gonna have like spaghetti or whatever, but we didn't have time. I didn't have time to eat them. So I literally like drained them. I threw them in like a bag. They'd obviously cooled down enough that the bag didn't melt. But the bag, Emma had this massive purse, which I don't know if you remember back in the day. This would have been like the around probably 2005-ish, within a year or so, and she had just a massive purse. So she threw my noodles in, and it ended up melting her eyeliner, which was we still kinda chuckle about that. It was just like a funny time because I used to smuggle stuff into the movies all the time, right? Not wanting to pay the high prices of the snacks, so whatever I could. I remember one time I got New York fries and, like, put it in a bag and just, like, weird stuff. And yeah, so it was fun. We went to different parts of town, reminisced about that stuff. We went out to the cemetery where my friend Nicole is buried. There is a memorial bench right by where her grave is. And I know Emma's been there with me before. It was kind of one of my thinking spots. So I'm sure probably a few times when we were together, we just kind of needed to unwind a little, we'd go there. And, yes, we sat there, and what was really fun is she reminded me to bring my scrapbook because we used to go to camp together, like summer camp, and I made this scrapbook, and anyone who went to summer camp with us remembers the scrapbook, and every year I would kind of what's the word? I would update it basically with, like, the most recent year of caught like photos from the 2 weeks we were at camp together. So now I have this fun camp scrapbook that we look back on. So she said, "Don't forget to bring the scrapbook." So I packed it right away so I wouldn't forget because I forgot it last time when she was home. So we sat on Nicole's bench, and we also picked up some stuff from like that brought back major nostalgia. We picked up Fun Dip. If you haven't had Fun Dip, they're these like it's basically just sugar, flavored sugar, and these sticks, and you lick the stick so it gets wet. You stick it down into like the kind of the powder stuff. And it's more granulated, I guess you could say, but the flavored sugar more or less, and then you just eat it off the stick. So we had that with us, and we had Sour Patch Kids because when we used to have sleepovers, we always had Sour Patch Kids, and we'd watch movies and stuff, which was funny. And we would always eat so many Sour Patch Kids that we'd basically shred the roof of our mouths. So it was kind of a funny memory. So we sat on Nicole's bench, ate our Fun Dip, ate our Sour Patch Kids, and looked through the scrapbook and just kind of, chuckled and remembered a bunch of things, and reminisced on different camp stories and people and our friends who we still kind of keep in touch with here and there. And yeah, we kept going, a few more places, and then I eventually took her home. I did show her, there's this new, I say it in quotes because it's not really, but new to her, pedestrian bridge. So I took her across the bridge so we could kind of see the Grand River before we left town. So a couple new things, but mostly we just spent the day. I think I picked her up around quarter to 11 and I dropped her off at like 5. So we literally just spent the day driving around, stopping at a couple places, getting a couple things she wouldn't be able to get at home, and just catching up like with what's new with both of us, but also total walk down memory lane, and it was super beautiful. Yeah, and when I dropped her off, obviously it's sad. We have our own little inside joke when we say goodbye, so that we obviously did that, and big hugs and stuff. I miss her already. She's back home in England. Um, but looking back, it just like I drove home after that. I had about a 2-hour drive. And I'm still like I still feel the kind of expansion and joy in my heart from that day. It's so simple, but it brought so much joy just to look back on the good things of our childhood and stuff, and just celebrate it, right? And have someone who, if you have someone that you go way back with, it's extra special, right? Because there's so many memories. Like there was one winter we tried curling at the Galt Curling Club near the mall, and she ended up sending me a picture. I don't know if it was at her dad's while she was still there, or if she has it in England, but she she sent me a picture of the little certificate after. So that it's always good for a chuckle, right? And a couple photos she was going through and stuff. She took pictures and sent them to me. Yeah, so it was a wonderful day. Something I'll look back and just brings me joy when I'm missing her. And I highly recommend, if you have a friend and some time, whether or not they've moved away and you're just doing it as a come like when they come back, you can just like see who's around, and that's maybe what you do when you hang out, right? I think we always just think we have to like go somewhere and do something. We don't always. It's nice to go to each other's homes sometimes, but I remember when I was a teenager, and actually still in my 20s, when I still lived in my hometown and had my friends around, sometimes if I had some errands to run or whatever, maybe I just needed to get groceries, but it's like I'd call up one of my girlfriends who lived kind of in the neighborhood and be like, "What are you up to? Do you want to come get some groceries with me and catch up?" And maybe we spent just an hour with each other and literally just getting groceries, but it was quality time, and it let us kind of do our adulting thing, but cross that with having some quality time together. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to just share today, that there's so much beauty in connecting with our loved ones, our friends, especially if we haven't seen them in so long. And it's just a fun idea to do if you have something in common, that maybe childhood friends, or maybe you went to university together. I don't know. It all depends on the geography of like where you're meeting up and where you are, and where things are relative to your memories, right? But if you have an opportunity, it brought me a lot of joy. So I wanted to share that. And I look forward to when I could see her again. I would love to be able to pop to England and have an adventure with her. We'll see how that all works out. And in the meantime, we have some new memories that we got to share since it's been a few years. I haven't seen her since before COVID. So I would say, yeah, it's been probably 4 or more years since we last saw each other. So extra special. Anywho, I'm going to pop off. I need to finish getting dinner ready, and I think I might record the next episode when I get back this evening, and kind of plan ahead, so you're not, if anyone is waiting for an episode, I don't know, maybe you guys just see them randomly. I don't know what the viewership is like. I can see how many downloads we have. We're at almost 600 downloads, which I'm like, wow, I'm wowed by that. I love it. I know there's lots of podcasts that have like millions, but you got to start somewhere, and just the fact that many people and there's that many downloads, it's really humbling. So super grateful for each and every one of you that are hanging out. So anyway, I am going to say goodbye for this episode. I hope everyone's doing well, sending love out there to anyone who needs it. If you do enjoy this episode and this podcast, I would love if you could leave a review on iTunes, or I don't know if you can do it on the Podbean, but I think you can. I don't know. But if you listen on iTunes, that'd be great. Share with friends. That way, if there's valuable content within it that can help someone, that's kind of why I'm here. So I would love it shared if there's someone you think could take a listen and benefit from it. All right, everyone, take care, and we'll see you inside the next episode. Bye.